Mistaken.
Yeah.
I feel it's time to address the rumours.
The time has come.
We have to address the speculation.
I want to take back the night.
And it's our right to do so.
It is. And I want to reframe the narrative.
And it's going to be a gorgeous frame.
Isn't it? From IKEA. Hey, is right.
My name is Miss Roots.
And I'm Mistaken.
And together we are...
engaged.
So says the press mill.
The media.
The media.
Dumois all over us now, looking for a statement, looking for an answer.
And we've just been batting them off.
We have, actually.
But I don't want to, I kind of want to leave it in suspense. Let's not talk about it too much.
Too much. No, we'll keep the all the ins and outs, the whys, the wherefores. We'll keep all that for a little bit later. We have made it to episode 2.
We're on episode 2.
Can't believe it.
My reaction was about to be like, who would have thought? But like
us,
I would have hoped episode 2.
The reaction for episode 1 was a bit lovely. Now I'm not gonna lie,
it's actually gorgeous. It's lovely to be back. And it's really nice, in fairness, to like hear of so many people that listened to it before. But then like we have a fair few
newbies.
We actually charted.
We did actually. What did we peak at 31?
Ah yeah, 31.
No, it was for like a day.
No, listen, I'm not going to be blowing out candles on a cake saying 31. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I will next year.
Yeah, you will.
I hope.
Yeah. Well, God forgive him.
If the aneurysm stays at bay long enough.
Yeah.
You know.
No, it's actually lovely being back, and I didn't realise how much I missed the kind of structure of like life would happen and you'd be kind of like, oh, we'll talk about it in the pod. Like I know both of us said a few times like while we weren't doing the podcast, oh God, I talk about this in the pod, blah, blah, whatever.
And it felt like when we didn't have a podcast, there was so many things we were like, I want to talk about that. I want to talk about that.
Every single day.
And when it came to doing episode 1, I remember just having like functional freeze being like,
I was like,
well,
what do we do now?
Easy, Julia. What do we do now? Do you know what I mean?
But it is episode 2.
Yes.
And the last episode was all about what we've been doing.
Something that's interesting that I wasn't expecting necessarily was a lot of people very interested in the self-employment journey.
Yes.
A lot of questions about the self-employment
journey. A lot of
journey.
questions, a lot of queries.
Yeah.
And I like you already said in the last episode, we're going to like talk about it here and there as time goes on. But we are in the absolute swing of it, of our self-employment, because it's Pride Month.
It's Pride Month.
We are sandwiched between 2 gigs at the moment. We had a virtual this morning, and I want to say something, okay?
Okay.
I do have a hierarchy. Well, I love a virtual, okay? Right. I do know just like...
a virtual gig.
A virtual gig, yeah. I know that like some queens don't like them. Okay. I don't know whether I'm like telling like tales outside of the schoolyard kind of vibe, but like some queens don't enjoy them. They're a different
type of gig though.
Yeah. I do like them. I really enjoy them. I do think we have a handy, there are 2 of us, so True. Like I completely get how someone else would have to kind of maybe feel a bit soul destroying talking to a camera that might not always talk back.
Mm-hmm. Does your camera talk back?
Well, the people in my camera talk back.
Okay.
The voices in my head.
Yeah, okay, that's what
they
you mean.
They keep me entertained.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough.
Yeah, people always talk back. Should not talk back to you?
No.
Oh.
I don't need to. I just address the room and I leave.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
But there is a hierarchy of platforms in which people have these virtual gigs, right?
Sorry,
and I'm interested in what
before you even say this, I was sweating the entire time. And for anyone who doesn't know, the first half of this episode is available on YouTube, and I'm almost sure that you can see my stoic face while Miss Ruth was saying that, because I actually thought you were going to start like
comparing companies,
and I was like, no, please don't. When you say platforms, you're not talking about shoes. You mean the way in which we do those virtual gigs.
Yeah, and I think it takes a drag queen to find this out, or like a girly, because there are many differences on the platforms, right? When it comes to visual quality. Okay?
Okay, I know what you mean now.
And no shade to anyone that we worked with that used different ones, because like, I don't know, they buy the licenses. No one's controlling what one they use. However, I have noticed Zoom, bottom of the barrel.
It is.
It's awful.
And I kind of would have thought Zoom was up there.
It's so blurry.
It's so blurry. But not blurry in like it gets rid of the pores. Blurry in a like...
No, like
blur, hi, my name is Megapixel.
Blur can be a drag queen's best friend.
Of course I'd call myself Megapixel.
Megapixel.
Not Skinny Pixel.
Not like... I don't know, I was going to go to floppy disk.
Right.
I certainly
won't be calling myself floppy disk.
We'll just scoot by that.
Right.
We won't address that.
Us talking about a relationship on the podcast, right?
So Zoom is the absolute worst. Taking second place is Microsoft Teams.
Yeah.
It's reliable. Generally speaking,
fine.
it's what people
It has
kind of use
Android
most.
features.
It does have Android features,
Yeah.
which really is similar to Gee features, but different.
Well, actually, way more similar than you think.
A lot more, a lot more similarities than you think.
The Gee features of that ecosystem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. The creme de la creme in my mind is Google Workplace.
Oh, for
It's
their
gorgeous.
HD crisp 4K quality.
We were on a call the other day, out of drag. It was a prep call with one of the companies that we're going to work with. And even out of drag, I was like, who is this handsome gentleman?
Nothing to do with the 7 ring lights.
No, nothing to do with that.
Nothing to do with the 7 ring lights
No.
and the slight blur that you're able to put on the camera.
It's gorgeous.
No, I do agree. And I think the audio quality is better as well.
So much better.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I have no idea of like how a company decides what one they're going to use over another one. But I'm going to tell you now, if for all you possible budding businesses, go with Google Workplace.
Google Workplace.
Well, I mean, if you're going to be getting drag queens in, you know, like if
Yeah, because everyone that's listening to this now is going to say, hang on, we're going to do a virtual event with a drag queen. It has to be on Google Workplace.
Let's find what like inner workings of the company we're going to use 365 days a year based on the one music bingo we might do possibly.
In saying that though, I like a bit of a blur. I don't mind being a bit of a megapixel.
Well, so this is the thing. As far as I know, I don't think I'm sure you can on Zoom. I don't like we had that gig earlier on today. I couldn't even figure out how to pin us.
No, that's actually we need to sit down and figure out how to actually work.
I have no idea.
And
then
I was going to say work the Zoom.
Work the laptop.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, oh, like the organizer might do it, but then the organizers, God loved them, were like, oh, I'm not too sure how to do this either. And I was like,
there was a mutual panic, and everything on virtual is always heightened because there's this sense of like everyone's watching.
Yeah, even though
if you were in a room, that wouldn't happen.
And everyone's watching more in a room. But I think there's a mortification around not being able to use like...
Yeah, it's kind of like...
Oh, I'm on mute. Oh, how embarrassing.
It's kind of like if you try to sneak into your neighbour's garden and they have a light that turns on. A sensor light.
Actually,
you're really like,
it's the same feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't say that's happened to me lots, but I do appreciate that could be the
I
same
grew up in
feeling.
Ballyfermot. Do you know what I mean? It's happened to me once or twice.
See, I was fingerless, so my neighbours didn't have lights.
Yeah. And according to the plasters on your hands, you were nearly fingerless.
I'm telling you now, I have. If you haven't seen, I talked about it on my Instagram. I'm sure everyone was watching.
Everyone's obviously watching.
I have like I cut both my middle fingers in the exact same place, so I look like I have some kind of like stigmata.
No, I don't talk about it.
No.
Pride Month though is in full swing, and it's the gas thing about Pride this year over other years is there's a certain level of like sensitivity that some people don't want to talk about some things.
Yes.
And I kind of love being the one in the room that will bring it back to... No, we are going to talk about the gays.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what I was going to say. Like, there's things that people don't want to talk about. And, you know, maybe that's not necessarily the best thing when you're getting drag queens in. Because we'll probably bring it up.
Yeah.
We're probably
going to be the ones.
Probably going to talk about it.
But we are also doing something really, really exciting because we're going to be working with Smirnoff Ice throughout the summer.
Yes.
And today is... We've worked with them a little bit already earlier in the year, but today is the first official day of summer as far as we're concerned because... it is the Dublin Pride Run after party.
It is. That's where we're going to be.
And we're going to be there with Smirnoff Ice. Hence the garb.
Yeah, if you're watching, myself and Mistaken are blue toned. You have blue and yellow hair.
Blue and yellow mohawk.
Which, you know what the most bizarre thing was? Of course, the colour of Smirnoff Ice. Gorgeous. You just pulled this out of the wardrobe.
I had this.
You owned that.
I had this. I know.
Yeah.
I know I did have this. And I'm not even going to tell the story as to why I have this.
No.
You know? But after the break, let's talk about our engagement.
So engaged, baby.
Stop.
Look at us. That's what happened to my fingers. It got cut by the giant engagement ring.
On your middle fingers?
I couldn't decide which finger or which hand.
Right.